be honestly, guys, we took the mics off there and we were about to start a golf lesson and we just had a bit of a change of plan, didn't we? So we might as well put mics back on, record what we're doing. I'm sure there'll be somebody who wants to stop around and watch.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
What you've got to understand, guys, is this one of your first ever lessons?
Yes, first ever lesson.
When you're having a lesson, whatever we do today is not going to feel very comfortable because you've got used to doing something now. Yeah. So everything we change is going to feel a bit awkward. So you might not get instant results today, but you've got to just believe in what I'm telling you. You know, obviously, we're not here to tell you lies. You know, if you stick with what we're doing, it will help. Yeah. So if you just set up to the ball for me. Excellent. Now, what we're going to do for you, I want to break it into two parts. What I'm changing here will apply for everything. Right. All right. Okay. So your irons, your wedges, you know, let's not get confused because you've already told me that the fade is in all your clubs. It's not just your driver. Yeah. So we're going to do a little bit. We're going to split it into two parts. We're going to do what's going to apply for everything to start with, and then what's going to apply for your driver. Okay. All right. So starting with everything, if you just take that hand off the club, now you can see here your thumb just runs straight up here. All right. Yep. So although you're almost, how many knuckles can you see here?
Probably 2-ish.
Yeah, you can nearly see 2. So, you know, at a first glance, it doesn't look like his grip's too bad, but actually, his thumb's not sat in the right position here. So it needs to be slightly more over, and that thumb has to be really tight like that. So when you get to the top of your backswing here, your thumb now sits underneath and supports the golf club. Where it were before, it were more on the side. Yeah. All right, so that's a good little guide. So I like the feel of that glove, by the way. That feels nice. So your club face is square. Just take it off again and just turn it a little bit more. This hand's quite, that's good. Keep it tucked in, this hand.
Keep wandering.
Heel of your thumb there, and then shorten that thumb. Keep that thumb. That's it. So it's not kind of like long down a bit. That's better. So that you put in something you want like that. That's it. Good. So it's like that. Yeah. Right. That's better. So that crease now, that tight crease has to be pointing up to this right shoulder. Right. Okay. All right. Now bring this hand on, and you want to feel like you bring it on from underneath, and the heel of your thumb here covers that thumbnail. That's it, and just rest that. So that thumb now almost feels like it's running up your right arm to your right shoulder. Yep. Just have a couple of practice swings without the ball, because that's going to feel a little bit different. And it might feel like it's pulling you around a bit that way on the way through. Just have a couple of practice swings. Does it feel a bit different when you follow through? Yeah. Just. Yeah, it does. Yeah. Yeah. So when you get your grip right, you know these are fundamentals that can really change the direction of your swing. I remember being a newer golfer when I used to have lessons. The grip is it's so important.
I think the problem is as well. We go on YouTube and we watch that many different people and that many different. And we, like I said, we get there and you go, well, I can't remember which way am I supposed to go now. Yeah. You know, and like you said but I play with someone who was a good player, and he holds it like a baseball grip, but it works for him. Obviously it's not going to work for me.
So what happens is you can start with a grip, and you could have started with a weak grip, and then if you'd have not spotted that, you'd have learned how to play golf and probably minimise that slice, but you've worked around a bad grip, and a bit like I don't want to get into too much detail here, but if we start with the right grip, you know, it'll be so much easier to coach you. We're not coaching around faults, because faults can fix faults. Yeah. But we don't want to do that. We've been quite new to golf. If we get your grip right, it's just going to make coaching you so much more easy. So just stop there, and before you go, you see how this gap's appearing here? Yep. That little gap. So
you don't want to close off.
Keep it, and I want it. You've got to be so tucked in like that.
Right. Okay.
Otherwise, it's kind of like lying to yourself. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
That's better. It won't feel very nice, and you might even hook a few. I don't know. Let's see what happens. It's not going to feel great, though. Yeah. Just have a couple more.
I don't want to let go of that grip.
What I would say is just have a practice swing in between each one, so you sort of feel, you know, you're getting a bit. You don't become too rigid. So that's it. Turn for it and hold your finish. Because what you see sometimes when people start having lessons, they're focusing so much on one point, they forget how to even swing the golf club. Yeah, do you know, you're focusing that much on your hands, you forget the full swing. So in between each one, just have one practice swing and turn through to the finish, holding your hips and chest to target. That's lovely. Good. Well done. So what's important for me as a golf coach, it's not looking at the screen and seeing him hit a straight shot. I mean, I'd love that to happen, but it just doesn't happen straight away.
No.
What's important to me is that I know that you've took the information away and you'll be able to apply it, you know, in your practice and as you start to play, and then, you know, things start to feel more natural and it soon comes. So that grip should almost feel uncomfortable for you.
Yeah, it does.
It shouldn't be feeling comfortable. If it does, then you're probably not doing it. So if it starts to feel comfortable straight away, you've probably snuck back to where you were originally.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to have one more check of that grip, see how it's looking. So set up to it. Take that hand off. Can we turn it just a tad more?
That way, that back in.
There, that's it, good. I know it feels uncomfortable.
And that wants to sit on there.
Do your best.
Hit that low, then down the bottom.
Will somebody buy him a bag of teas? He won't get more than one out, you know.
Well, I've got them. There's about 90 all over the floor.
When's your birthday? I'll get you some.
I'm going to hold you to that now.
Don't know about trying to sell him a £500 driver. So let's have a look at that top hand. Make sure it's pinched together, nice and close. That's it. There, you've got it. And then, is that heel of your thumb? It's got to be sat on that nail, so you don't get too far over.
So that might be
trying to creep over.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the contact. We're going to work that one out. Then freeze. Let me know when you're happy with your grip and everything.
Yep.
Good. All right. So that's your ball position. It's pretty much on the inside. Now your shaft here is pretty much vertical, you know, and it should be behind. So the back handle of the shaft should be on the back edge of the ball.
Right. Okay.
Right? And then from there, your left cheek should be behind that shaft. So like that.
Right.
So you should feel, where do you feel like your weight is there?
On this back foot.
On your back foot.
Yeah.
So let me just give you a visual. If you just stand here. So you're starting with your inside of your heel lined up with the ball.
Yep.
We then want to take your sort of feet out. You want the insides of your feet wider than your shoulders. So they want to be on outside of your shoulders. So you've got a nice wide solid base. And then from there, try and position it so the handle of your shaft is behind the ball. So it'll almost feel like it's leant back. Rather than being sort of there, it's leant back probably about 1 centimetre. Probably feel like it's pointing towards your belt buckle.
Right, okay.
And then you're going to take your hands like we've talked about from there. Get them onto the club. I usually sort of feel as though once I'm in this position, my weight's 50-50, but I just tilt this right shoulder down about 2 inches.
Okay.
And it probably does put an extra 5% on that leg. It's not a lot.
Not a lot, no.
But then my hand feels like it's definitely coming more from underneath then like that. And this is a position then that's going to encourage this release. It's going to encourage you to get your bottom of your swing here, start to hit up on the ball, and then because your right side of your body's staying behind the ball, the club then passes and it starts to release this way.
Right.
All right. The position you're in at the minute is more sort of vertical like this with your hands forward. So it's encouraging your hands to be delivered in front of the club head. I'm probably exaggerating a little bit here, but keeping the club face open.
Right, okay.
So you're not allowing, whereas when it's the shaft set behind and your cheeks behind the shaft, it's allowing that club head then, or you know, your handle to almost let the club pass a little bit more and release.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see if you can set up into that position. Start with your front heel. Bring that back foot out wide, so it's wider than your shoulders. That's great, well done. And then position that shaft. That's it. So that bit we said pointing more towards your belt buckle.
Yep.
Pop this top hand on correctly. And then this hand, almost just feel like you drop that shoulder a little bit. So that's it, and bring your right hand back on. That's it, good. And then as you hit the ball, you've almost got to feel like your left cheek stays in position and you just turn through your shot.
Right, okay.
So you're rotating your shoulders around your spine. That's the one. That's better.
That felt better as well.
That were a good swing. Excellent, well done. So what we've done so far is we're trying to encourage the right impact factors. We've not actually, you know, there's sort of more in-depth things we can do to get you hitting it like further to the left or closing the club face, but so far we're trying to do it in a way of just improving your setup so it comes naturally. And then I would, you know, in your next lesson, if you'd had a few, you know, range sessions and you played and the slice was still there, that's when we can start to put some feelings in there and start to look at some club face positions in your swing. But so far we don't want to do that. We want to see if it can come naturally. Because that, if you can do it naturally, then you know you're laughing. And what we've changed so far is going to encourage the impact factors for it to happen naturally. It was never going to happen naturally. You'd have had to manipulate it before. But, you know, if you keep swinging like this, I think you'll naturally start to close that club face, because that's what, you know, your body's set up to do. And the old movement of what Steve was doing should come out of his swing, and the club should start to pass. You know, every time he hits one now, they're starting to sound a little bit better.
Better as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're feeling better as well.
Yeah.
You can kind of feel it in the club.
I mean, it's only probably been about, what, 14 balls you've hit in this practice session. You know, you've got a lot of balls to hit before it starts to feel comfortable, but it's looking better already. So start talking yourself through it, that's it. Front foot lined up with the edge of the ball, back foot out so it's wider than your shoulders. And then that shaft's lent back. You take your grip so that your hands feel a little bit stronger. And you can, you know, you can experiment with this. When you get to range, you can sort of turn that top hand over a little bit more and find, and you'll start to see some difference in the ball flight.
At least you can't tell me to put my clubs in bin and call it a day.
That's good. That's excellent, well done. That was a great swing. Well done.
So I've got another tee, mate.
Now, looking through your bag, I would say, you know, after maybe a couple of lessons, it probably would be a driver that should be changed.
Should be changed.
You know, I think your irons are really good. You've got nice oversized forgiving irons. But on the spec of your driver, now we're swinging it better. You're probably launching it too high because we've got Steve obviously sitting up on the ball.
Moving, yeah.
You've gone for 360, whereas before we did the lesson, you were actually launching it too low.
Yeah.
So maybe that's a good lesson for everybody to make sure if you've got the option is to have some lessons before you get a fitting on a driver. Try and get your technique something like, rather than fitting your driver around a bad swing. That's fantastic. Really good. So you can see, guys, the fade is still there, but I reckon that's just going to get better and better. And you know, but I think we may still have to put a couple little tweaks in there. But we've got to try and let it happen naturally. But if you look at this cluster of balls, which I've not got the screen recording, they're a lot tighter to line. There's not any sort of wild ones that are way off line.
Apart from one.
Yeah, apart from one.
I think that's when we first changed the grip. I think it just don't feel right at first. But I think with like my stance as well, I didn't stand wide. You know, like with that, because no one's ever said that before. Stand so you're wider than your shoulders and stuff.
That's really good. How are you feeling then? I mean, so far, because I mean, would you want to try and, you know, get this
it's for me as well as obviously just starting up, if you like.
Yeah.
You go to the course with people, you see, and you look at people. And same as I said to you about the guy who's good at golf.
Yeah.
He holds it like a baseball grip, so you go, if that'll work for me.
Yeah.
You try it and you think, no, that's not for me.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. You know, everybody's unique, I suppose, in the way they swing, you know.
And because you're relating him as being a good golfer, if you don't mind asking, what's his handicap?
6, I think.
6.
Yeah.
So, you know, that is a respectively quite a good golfer.
Yeah.
But I think that, you know, no disrespect to him, but I think he could struggle if he wanted to become like a scratch golfer.
Yeah.
It would hinder him, you know, and if he were to have, I'm sure it sounds like a really good player and he can get the ball around with what he's got, but there will be certain shots he struggles to do. I'm not sure how well he could play a fade or, you know, how much he could change his ball flight. So that's where, if you have the right coaching, it opens up, you know, a whole range more of shots. I've played with golfers that have a strong grip. They usually tend to hit it quite low and hooky.
Yes.
And they struggle to hit high shots. You know, there's certain things they struggle to do. Bunkers are a problem. Bits and pieces like that. So by trying to get you a bit more conventional setup, hopefully the sky will be the limit for you and you'll be able to.
It's just the confidence. It's just kind of, you know, like anybody, I suppose. You walk up to the tee, you know, you're first on the course, there's no one there. You know for a fact you're thinking, oh God.
Yeah.
But then, like we've said before, you overcomplicate because you're aiming over there and everyone's going.
One of the things you are going to have to do tomorrow, because Steve's playing tomorrow, is that you're going to have to try and aim straight. You know, even if you miss something right and you lose a few balls,
still aim straight.
You can't get rid of a fade unless you're committing to hitting straight or even aiming right, you know. But if you keep aiming left, you're encouraging everything to slice. So if you can tomorrow, try and aim straight. Or if you're aiming to the right, aiming left, you square to the left, so you're not sort of opening up to it.
Opening up as much.
Yeah. So let's have a look at you now. Once you're set up, I don't want you to hit it, I just want you to freeze. So Tom, when you're ready, your setup's looking really good. And you know what? Steve swung it quite well with these last few shots, and that's why I'm quite happy to move on to the next stage, because you already look quite comfortable. Now what I want to check is when you're taking it back, if you slowly take it back, try and stop at your hip height and show me where the club is. Now this, although we've got him set up to it right, this is where, you know, obviously you need a bit more educating here. So you're encouraging a slice from what you're doing here. So as you take the driver away, you might have heard this saying before, guys, you need to take it low to the floor and long. So you need to create some width by keeping that, you're sort of picking the club up like this as you're taking it back. So you're basically, you know, getting outside the line and open. Right. So you need to keep it low to the mat and keep it long. And as it stops here, down the line of your feet, that toe of the club should be, you know, if not pointing to the sky, slightly closed, in line with your spine. Right, okay. Like that. So it's 45 degrees. Yeah. So if you just start from the beginning again and use the surface to take it low to the surface and long, and stop it there, that's it. So it's like 45 degrees or a little bit closed there. Right, okay. That's much better. Right. Well done. So that's your next little thought to have as you're taking it away. Again, we might start to take some bad shots again because we've got something new in the mix. Yeah. That's it, good. So you're keeping it low and long. You've got to try and do this by keeping your head down. Yeah. So maybe just one takeaway back and back to the ball, then have a go at hitting one.
Shall I do a full swing or?
Yeah, just have one practice swing when you take it away, back to hipping the ball, and then have a, you know, obviously have a practice swing and hit one. So to you, you're trying to feel like you're taking it a bit lower and longer to the mat. Yeah. So you're not picking it up as much. It's more coming, it's around your shoulders. Well done.
Felt weird. It felt like I couldn't follow, you know, because I'm still, everything was just weird, like I couldn't follow through on it or something. Yeah. All right, we've got another tee.
Set up to it. That's it, good. And then, so you've got your spine now, so your shoulders should feel as though they're turning around your spine. That's it, and getting the club to there like that. Yep. And then after that, you know, you can have a bit of freedom. But let's get that first part of your swing feeling. Well, you're almost feeling, sorry Steve, to keep interrupting. You're almost feeling like your club face is almost feeling like it's hooded to the ball. As you're taking it away, it's not opening, because your shoulders are what's actually opening the club around your swing. So you're almost feeling as though you're trying to keep the club face close to the ball, and then your shoulders is what's going to like open the club and, you know,
and swing through.
Yeah, that's the kind of feeling. Now that's your best one today.
Yeah.
That is your best one. It's finished actually left of the line. And it was struck well. What a lot of newer golfers
replaying that
do.
one, mate.
Yeah, we'll keep rolling that one, yeah. What a lot of people do is they try to open the club face with their hands, you know, they're trying to open it. Well, you know, you've almost got to feel that club face is staying hooded to the ball and close to the ball because it opens naturally on your shoulders.
Yeah.
And that was the first one where you've really hit it solid.
I think as well, when I get to, I know it sounds daft, but when I get to, obviously to a tee,
yeah,
I kind of don't like take my time. Everything seems to be a rush, and it's like we're here. I'm taking my time a bit, and you know, and it's kind of a bit nicer because it's, you know, it's not a rush. There's no one coming behind you, and
for some reason when you took that takeaway, then I just felt a draw coming on or a straight. You know, I could see it looked as though everything was square in his body, and then he's sort of keeping it square with the club face. I didn't think there was anything you could do, but you know, hit a draw. So it's like that feeling you need to get.
Yeah.
I mean, that is going to get the club face square, you know, back to the ball. So in simple terms, I know we sometimes have these terminologies in golf. You're trying to keep the club face square to the ball as you take it away. And it technically might not sound right, that, guys, but I know having been a higher handicap golf, sometimes if you explain it in simple ways like that, it's easier to understand. And again, it set off straight and it stayed left of that line. So it's 2 in a row, so it weren't a fluke anymore.
It weren't a fluke. We don't have to replace it. I think as well, I'm used to, I don't know if anyone else does this.
Yeah.
I'm used to putting your club down and thinking that's how your club should be coming to your ball.
Right.
So the bottom of your club is like that, but where you're, like you've explained, it needs to be more kind of flatter.
Yeah, you could say that.
So it's like kind of running across the floor more.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I'll tell you what, I hope subscriber numbers are going up. That's 3 straight shots now in a row.
It's going to cost me a fortune.
It should be going like this.
Never mind 400 quid for a driver.
Do you know what though? I think
someone might feel sorry for me and give me some teas.
I will have a look on eBay and I'll see if there's any good second-hand drivers. Now obviously we've done this lesson to sort of marry up with what you're doing, because I think if you got a little bit more modern driver, you know, not a £500 driver. I think you've got you're a G400 SF Tech.
Yeah.
You know, and probably like a 9.5 degree or a 10 degree. So just stop now. What I don't want you sort of leaning your hips that way. Keep your hips still. It's only your upper body that tilts. So when you're doing this, you want to tilt your upper body like that.
Right.
What you did there were kind of
lent.
Yeah, you lent everything so that your hips are out of position.
Right.
You want your hips or your knees and your hips square to the mat.
Just my top off.
And you're just tilting your top off. Yeah.
Right. Sky high, that one.
We'll just keep replaying that first one.
Anybody want to buy any clubs? They've never been hitting sweet spot. It low again, that.
Okay.
I felt that like kind of twisting me.
Yeah. As bad a shot as it were, it's sort of left of that line and stayed left. Do you know? So your club face went as open.
Yeah.
So I just want to sort of like start to conclude on things now. So, because obviously it's that easy after you've hit like, what you on now, 24 shots to get comfortable.
Yep.
And start to, you know, get too relaxed. So set up to it again. Let's check. So starting with your feet, get your heel up to the ball, that's it. And you've got your feet the right width. Make sure that club's sort of lent before you put your hand, or start to take your grip so you've got your shot. And now this is where, just keep it there a little bit stronger.
Yep.
So crease up to your right shoulder, so it's probably feeling a tad uncomfortable again.
Yep.
And then that heel of your thumb, covering that thumbnail there, that's it. And then short and stubby. Short and stubby on that bottom thumb. And then from here, you're feeling as though you're hooding it, you're keeping it square to the ball. So when it gets down the line of your toes, your club head's lower than your hip now, and your club face is 45 degree close. You're not picking that club up, you're sort of, you're taking it back low and long. So see how do that again. That club face, we're a tad open if I'm being critical. You see how it's like sort of more
slightly
up to
more
the sky.
Yep.
So when you're going away from the ball, you've got to do a better job of feeling as though you're trying to keep it hooded, so it's there like that.
Right, okay.
Hooded means closed in Yorkshire.
Yeah.
Well done.
Slightly out a little bit.
Slightly out. But I've no doubt, Steve, honestly, I have no doubt, if you take this away and you practice it, you'll see a difference in your ball flight, and I'm sure you'll start to see things setting off more left and probably staying left.
Yeah.
If anything, if he gets too good at this, you might actually start pulling the ball and starting left and staying left. Do you know what I mean? And that's when we'd have to start to maybe have a look at your aim, because you know it's natural, guys, that Steve's going to want to aim a tad left on golf course to start with.
Yeah.
And that's when we might have to start looking at your aim and maybe getting your aiming straight, or if not, a fraction right of target.
Yeah.
Because the driver, if you set up correctly to a driver, it's a club that probably wants to draw. You know, a good player would draw the ball just based on how you set up to it.
Yeah.
So I think that pretty much brings us to the end of this lesson, to be fair.
Okay.
You know, you don't want too much information. You don't want to be overcoached. You need to go and put this into practice now.
Yeah.
And, you know, you're not going to be a finished article, but you're on pathway. You know, it's the start of your path to obviously.
Well, to say that first lesson, it's been you know, brilliant, and I've took a lot away from it.
Yeah.
Just with the grip and like even with the stance, that's a massive difference as well.
Right, we're going to get Steve a coffee. Well, obviously, we'll just go and summarise on
paying
things.
for that.
And and we'll get him a few bags of tea. Guys, if you've enjoyed that one, a bit of a raw lesson at the end. You know, there's not going to be much editing in that one, because I think it's important that they see your good shots and your bad shots. We're having a bit of a joke.
Yeah,
you know, say we'll play that first one, but that is a real first lesson. Yeah. And it's not always pretty. Yeah. But I think you finished quite positively.
Yeah. Appreciate your help.
Cheers, Steve.
Thank you very much.
And we'll see you guys in a few days' time. Bye.